Girl, you dancing already.
I don't know who needs to hear this thing. I don't know who needs to hear this thing, but I don't know who needs to hear this thing, but
Welcome back to the Park Car Conversation. This is episode 4 of our 3rd season. We're totally aligned. We're here at Frontier Fine Cars. You see this nice Audi behind us? If it's yours, it's yours. They have a fleet of cars here, an extensive fleet, if you want to come and get your car here. And I'm here for a reason. These are good people. It's not your regular car dealership. Like, they will treat you like family. This is why Park Car Conversation and Frontier Fine Cars, this is why we have this partnership. And y'all know how I am with my social media. I will not tell you something that I don't stand on. I will not tell you something I don't believe in. So we're here. We're making this dream work. And if you want to come watch our episode, DM us. Also, if you want your product placed in an episode, this also could be you. We have love laced candles. I personally also use these candles in my yard. So if you guys want your product here, your business to be shown, like, hit us up. We can make this work. It can be beautiful. This is community. And like our last episode with Dookie Dukes, I also have never met Shae before.
No.
This is the first time I'm ever meeting Shae. So this is just organic. This is not scripted. The Park Car Conversation is not scripted. This is not forced. This is a real, I'm going to swear on my own show. This is a real ass conversation. And so Shae, I'm so thankful that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so thankful. They gave me a little rundown on who Shae is.
Oh shit, what'd they say?
Shae.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. You want to know what they said?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Shae's a mother of 2. Mm-hmm. All right. Were you a teenage mom?
I was, yeah.
You were a teenage mom. I've seen your social media page. This is just transparency. This is how it works. I've seen your social media. You show before and after pictures of your gym progress.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do that. And before we even started this episode, like, behind cameras, I'm always looking at my camera guys. I'm like, guys, my stomach tuck in is good. You know what I mean? As moms, you know what it's like.
Oh, yeah.
We go through some different things.
Yep.
Right? So, Shae, like, give yourself a little bit of an introduction, you know, what you feel passionate about, and then we're going to take it from there.
Okay. Well, growing up, I've always had a background in dance, in the arts. I actually went to school for music theater for many years. But as I came into adulthood, having my first son at 17, I was told I can no longer do the things I love, aka dance. So I stopped and just, focused on being a mom, because that's what I was told I was supposed to do. And obviously that is a very important job.
For sure.
But I think I didn't hit a studio again until he was 7.
Wow.
And
that's a long time, girl.
It's a long time. It's a long time. And it was just like a breath of fresh air, being surrounded by, the love, the energy, moving my body again, and just being in that moment with myself brought so much back to, like, the person I was. I wasn't just a mom. Like, when you become a mom, sometimes that identity takes over.
Talk to them, Shae.
Right? It takes over, and expectations are set on you. And so now you feel like, you got to do this, you got to do that. I can't like the things I like anymore. I can't do the things I want to do. I can't, and I was a teen mom. So there was so much more, I guess, like, shame, or like even more expectations, because now I have to prove people wrong.
Right.
I mean, right. I have to prove people wrong.
Prove people wrong. No,
I have to prove people wrong.
Both ways. It
right?
goes both ways. You're right.
Yeah. So, anyways, like, stepping back into the studio, whatever, like that. It's been years now. I guess another 7, because my son just turned 14. My older son just turned 14.
Wow.
And I fell in love with...
That's a big grown man, by the way.
He
That's
is.
a big grown man.
Every day he wakes up, and I swear his mustache gets dark.
I swear. My son was born with a mustache, but, like, I can only imagine when he's 14, he said, like, wow, Zaki,
Yeah.
cut this off a little bit, you know, to groom this. I'm gonna be that mom, man. Like, you should cut this a little bit. Yeah.
So growing up, like being a teen mom and growing up with my son, it's interesting because it's like we can bicker and talk almost like we're siblings.
For sure.
But then, you know, like he does something where I gotta go into mom mode and, you know, it is what it is. But like, yeah, I definitely poke fun at him. And I'm like, hold on, let me see that. You have one little chin here.
One little chin here.
Okay,
your mom,
hold on.
Your mom's
just feel
styling
this, right?
Shay, there's someone watching this. There's going to be a lot of, like, our audience varies, but there are going to be like a younger audience that's watching this. What was your hardest challenge of being a teen mom? Because that's a different complex than just being a mom, but being a teen mom. There's someone who's in high school that's going to watch this. What would be like your best advice or something you need to get off your chest to them?
So you know what? Funny enough, I actually used to go into high schools and talk about being a teen mom. Yeah. And don't believe the hype. I want to say two things. One, that if you do become a teen parent, it's not the end of the world because, and I need to say that because people put so much shame on it that it makes life harder. And it doesn't have to be hard. You need to find your village. And that comes with just being a mom in general. It's hard. It's hard. But when you find, like when you connect with those people, it makes it easier. But, you know, you got to learn, you got to grow up. You grow up real quick. It's not about you anymore. You can't go party no more. You can't just drop and go, as my dad would say. Miss drop, and he calls me Miss Drop and Go because my mind is just everywhere all the time.
Your dad's Jamaican. Yeah, it sounds
right?
Jamaican to me.
So, you know, like you have a whole life that you have to take care of, and it's not fun and games no more, guys. So, you know, wrap it up. Plan B is not birth control. And take care of yourself because no one's going to take care of yourself as good as you are, and make sure you're doing that.
I used to work in the TCDSB in high schools, and like, let me be honest, I was cool. So the kids used to crack to me and like, yo, miss, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I used to tell them like, listen, if you guys, because I remember me at 16, I was saying too much. It's realistic. Kids out there are doing things.
Oh yeah.
Listen, that's a consequence that comes with having sex. You can potentially be a parent, and there's lots of things that come with it.
And it only takes one time, guys. Don't let them fool you. It only takes one time. It only takes one time.
No, we're being realistic, right? So like, you know, a little background for whoever doesn't know this. I also have a son. I was pregnant at 23 and had him at 24.
And you still felt young, right?
Yeah, I felt young. Like I was still in a place where I'm just like, can I do this? Can I do this? I really had no option in my mind. Like I was going to do this, right? But it was still very intimidating, still being like in my younger 20s. And as you said, it's not like your life is done. Because as you can see behind the camera, my life is still flourishing. But I definitely had to take a different route. I had to figure out things. I had to put things on pause. I couldn't do things as I wanted to do. And as a consequence, I don't know if that's a consequence, but I still lived my life, but like it was at a more independent stage. So now I travel and I leave him. Sometimes I've left my kid for 17 days, but that's my tribe. You know what I mean? I've been able to like rely on my tribe to be like, okay, I'm going to go here and he's taken care of. But when I was younger, like my early 20s was lock off. I couldn't do that. I had to take care of a kid. Yep. You know what I mean? So bring us through this journey now. Like this is the first time I'm meeting you. Like, what does your life look like now? Now, from what I know, you have 2 kids.
I have 2.
You got a 14-year-old.
Yep.
And an 8-month-old.
9 months now, but yeah.
9 months.
Yeah.
Talk to us about
really
it. So really, this episode is for the galdom. But what I said for the mandem, we got to put some respect on the girls. Okay, the ladies.
On my name.
It's a lot. Not even just to grow a child, but to also every single day pour into them. There's a lot that goes into it. So bring us through like an everyday life of Shae. Like, what does that look like?
Whoa. It's chaotic.
She laughed. It's a lot for me.
It's so chaotic.
I don't know who needs to hear this today, but if you walk into Frontier Fine Cars or fill out a form online and tell them that the Park Car sent you, you will get $500 towards a down payment of your car off the bat. This is for the people with no credit, with bad credit, working on your credit. You will not get denied. They work out the best low interest rates, low payment plans. They have an extensive fleet of vehicles. But if you see a car that's not there, they will outsource it for you just to ensure that you have a seamless process. I personally would not steer y'all in the wrong direction. I know enough people that have gotten their cars at Frontier Fine Cars. So from us to you, enjoy the rest of the episode.
You know, okay, so I had my first son so young, you know, and for the longest time in my 20s, I'm early 30s now, guys. But in my 20s.
By the way, women in their 30s, we're thriving now.
Oh, yeah. I'm
about to be 30 next month. We're thriving, okay? 30s is about to be lit.
No, I love it.
Grown and sexy.
I love it.
Okay.
I still feel like I'm like 18, but I mean, I love it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, because I had my son so young and because there were so many expectations put on me, and I was just like, so, you know, quick background. I got pregnant when I was in grade 11. At the end of grade 11 and through the summer I was like, okay, I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do. I'm pregnant, like I can't go back to school. But luckily my school was very welcoming and just helped me. And they're like, no, come back to school. Wow. We'll get you through it. And so I went to school all of grade 12. I had him January of that year.
Wow.
I took about a month and a little bit off and came back after March break and then graduated in June.
What did you do with your son?
So there was, I think I was taking 3 classes because I fast tracked some stuff at like the first semester. And so there was one class where when he was a little older, he would stay with my dad for about an hour because my school wasn't very far. But my teacher actually let me bring him too, as long as he was sleeping.
Amazing.
Yeah, which is, I mean, not every school does that, but they let me bring him. And so I would go to my one class. I had some online stuff. And so I got it all handled. Thankfully, I found my village. I found the people who would support me and I got it done. Not everybody can say that. Not everybody can do that. And not everybody has that support, right? So I'm very lucky that way. Went back for an extra year. At that point, he ended up going into daycare because I had the subsidy. And then I went into college. Now, I had a lot of support. Like, looking back, I thought like, oh man, like this is hard. But looking back, like actually looking back and seeing, I had so much support to where fast forward to now, you know, I am doing my, you know, I have my second baby, my second pregnancy. It's hard. We're
talking about
so much
postpartum?
different. No, I'm talking about the whole thing. Because like I said, going through my 20s, I was like, I want another baby. Like I'm supposed to have a family. I was a single mom too. So I was like, you know, like I really want this family. I have to do X, Y, Z. I have to be an adult. And then I got to the end of my 20s and I was like, I'm good. Like I hit 30 and I was like, I like it here. My son is old enough that he most of the time don't want to deal with me until it's like the end of the day. He's done with his friends. He's like, Mom, can we watch a movie? Or you know what I mean? And so like he's just doing his thing. I'm learning now how to do my thing. And I was like, it was no longer, you know, oh, like I need another baby. I want another baby. I want this. Like everybody wishes that they have someone to share life with, even if you say you don't. Pardon?
Companionship.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just in a point in my life where I was just like, I'm thriving so good. And like I had been on my fitness journey and I was just doing so great. And then, you know, stuff happens and like
it's
I ended
always
up
when
getting
you're the most fit.
Yeah.
You get pregnant.
I ended up getting into a relationship and then I have this baby and like the whole pregnancy, the whole postpartum was completely, mind you, we're talking 13 years difference, but completely different. And I didn't realize how much support and how much help I had as a teen compared to being an adult. And don't get me wrong, I still had, you know, my family, my tribe, but that extra support that they give teen moms, which is great. It's amazing. I love that. You don't get that as an adult.
Because you're an adult
And
now.
so I had my baby and spent the first month at home crying. Because I was so alone. And I had my family. My family's around and people came by to visit. People Uber Eats me food. I'm so thankful for the community that I had. But it was completely different. When I was a teen, I had a center to go to. I had a center to go to where we had counselors. We had counselors who helped us sign up for daycare, helped us sign up for housing, helped us sign back up for school if we needed it. If moms need social assistance for anything, we had a doctor who came in and took a look at our babies if we couldn't get appointments or if we didn't have family doctors. We had a place where we could go where we could just sit in a rocking chair and chill, and our kids were good, and we had suppers and lunches made for us, and we had a donation room where you can go and pick out clothes for free. You know, like as an adult, you don't have that. I'm here like, y'all, baby clothes is expensive. On social media, baby clothes is expensive and they only wear it for like 3 weeks. Does anybody have some clothes that they just want to get rid of? I will come pick them up. Like I did not want to spend money on baby clothes because I was like, for what?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so navigating it as an adult, like just
Harder.
mind blowing all the time.
Would you say harder?
Harder. And don't get me wrong, that's my personal
Do you
experience.
think someone watching this as a teen would be like, oh, so it's easier actually?
No.
Let me.
So that's why I said it's my personal experience, because going to that center, I also met moms who didn't have that support, who were struggling a lot more. I knew a girl who came from a Muslim background and hid her pregnancy and had her baby in her bathtub and then left in the middle of the night. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
I can't imagine that.
I'll never forget that story. Like, you know, and I haven't seen her in so long, but like I pray that her and her daughter are thriving. I know that she was like, you know, she was doing her thing. She was being a mom like the rest of us. But like that story stuck in my head because I'm like, I didn't have to deal with that, and thank God. But there are people who do. So don't you know, listen to me and be like, oh yeah, okay, I could be a teen mom. I'm going to do it. I had a teacher who was like, well, you wanted this. You wanted to be a teen mom. Because when we were in parenting class, you were saying that it would be easier being a teen mom. And the reason why I said that, and you know what? I was not wrong. In this aspect, the energy, okay? Like being a mom when I was younger, I didn't realize at the time how much energy I had to play with my son and to be attentive with my son, and the patience. And because I was a kid raising a kid, I just wanted to have fun, you know? And I took my responsibilities seriously when I needed to. But I was, you know, in the kiddie pool playing with him. I was in the park. I was crawling around on the floor. I was climbing up and down the monkey bars and doing all the fun stuff. And now I'm like, can we I'm just gonna lie on the floor while you play with these toys for a sec, because I'm exhausted.
For context, can we tell people on camera? I know we don't normally traditionally ask women how old they are, but for someone who's watching this, that may be important. How old are you now?
Oh, actually, I said it. I'm in my, well, actually, no, I said I'm in my early 30s. So I am about, I think, it gets blurry after a while. It gets blurry after a while. I'm about to turn 32 on Feb 1st.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you know, I don't consider 32 to be old. I mean, I know y'all younger folks be looking at us, be like 30s is old. It's not old, okay? It's not. But
let me tell you, okay? Me, I'm about to turn 30 next month. I'm the cool auntie. I take my son and I take all my nephews. I have a lot more nephews, and we're out. We go tobogganing, we go to Dave and Buster's, we go whatever. Like, that's one of my main things being a young mom. I'm going to be fit. I try to go to the gym as much as I can because, listen, I'm not slowing down, You guys got to keep up with me. But that's a thing I always hear women saying, like, you know, having a kid in your 20s is different than your 30s, because when you get to your 30s, you start to get tired more and you don't want to keep up with your kids. And I don't want that to be something that's like relevant to me. Yeah. But you can see that happening.
So that's not to say that like I don't like to do this stuff, because with my older son, that's what we were doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like I like to roller skate. He prefers the inline. Like I prefer the quads. He prefers inlines. But
I don't even know what that is. What's that?
If you know, you know. Yeah. But like that stuff we used to do together or do together. And dance. Like I'm a dancer. He also dances. So I bring him, like I started bringing him to adult classes because the kids classes they're boring or they're like the same thing over and over again, right? So I started bringing him to adult classes at a young age. So we would do those together and things like that. But what I mean by like tired is like the newborn, the baby stage, like it's rough. Like it's rough.
Do you have a partner this time around?
I had a partner through my pregnancy.
Okay.
We ended things 6 months postpartum.
Okay.
You know, like it just didn't work out. He is around and he's involved. We co-parent. But and I didn't have that with my older son. My older son's dad just is not involved in any sense. But still, I am the primary parent. So at the end of the day, it's on you. Like, you know what I mean? So I know that when the baby gets older, that it will change. Like, you know, but dealing with postpartum, and also too, I had postpartum, or I should say postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. I didn't have that stuff with my older son. My mom.
What does that look like?
So postpartum depression, it's usually based off of hormones because when you get pregnant, you know, your hormones are all over the place. They say like, oh my gosh, she's hormonal. And it takes a while for them to balance out. But then just dealing with life in general doesn't help, right? So I spent every day crying, and it's not talked about a lot either because I actually ended up talking with moms a lot this time, and they're like, yeah, me too. But like just crying, kind of feeling hopeless. Sometimes moms have like, what are they called? Just thoughts that something bad might happen. Irrational thoughts. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Just different things like that. And so my postpartum appointment, my doctor referred me to a postpartum depression group. And also something that's not talked about is postpartum anxiety, which looks a lot like...
I see some head nods in the audience.
Which looks a lot like
y'all them know.
Me carrying around a monitor. So it's like a screen monitor. I could see my baby in the crib. And when he would take a nap, I would literally just carry it around with me everywhere because I needed to see him and that he was okay. I couldn't just put the monitor down. Like it had to go to every room with me. And if like I couldn't see his face, I would run upstairs and make sure that his face wasn't in the mattress. Like irrational, you know, thoughts. And, you know, if I left him with my mom, I'd be like, you know, okay, well, make sure this, and I seen this, and, you know, like, he shouldn't be doing, like, you shouldn't give him this. And my mom looked at me like, why are you like this? Like, you were not like this with your first. And I said, I know. Like, I understand, and, like, I don't like it. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Like, this is just how I'm feeling.
I think postpartum hits everyone different.
Yeah,
honestly,
no, for sure.
Like there's no like blueprint to what postpartum looks like, because for me, like I probably actually did. And it wasn't until I was like, my kid was way older. I'm like, yeah, that's probably postpartum. I cried every single day in my pregnancy. I had a terrible 0 to 10. Do not recommend.
I would say parenting is ghetto. Pregnancy is ghetto.
I still say that to this day. I'm like, this is ghetto. Raising this young human that runs my life is ghetto. But like I cried every single day of my pregnancy for sure. Like I wasn't in a good situation with my son's dad, and then like, it just never got better, right? And then so, you know, after he was born, there were certain things like I felt guilty. I'm like, I just want to escape. I just need a break. To be honest, I just need a break. And, you know, people are like, oh my gosh, like you have this blessing. Some people can't have kids and can't conceive. That. And I was like, that's good for y'all.
It's invalidation.
I need to smoke a spliff. I want to turn up and live my life. And I think like sometimes we put these pressures on moms that like you always have to put on mom face.
Yeah.
Sometimes Jafina is still Jafina, and my kid, like I love him to death, but he needs to have a happy mom more than anything. The things that might make me happy might look a little different to other people, but like he has to take a back seat, and I will resume that. I'll make sure he's good, but I need to take care of myself first.
Yeah.
And postpartum, whoever's watching this, right? Postpartum is going to hit every single person different. If that's something you experience, make sure you take care of yourself first as a mom, even as a parent. You know, if you're a full time,
talk about it.
There's some single dads too. You know what I mean? There's some single dads who just they're
going through it.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, take care of yourself as a parent first. Your kids need you to do that. Once you can do that, then everything else will fall into place.
And that's why, like, like I said, with my first son, I stopped dancing, right? And during this pregnancy, which I mean, some people are gonna agree and some people are gonna disagree. I honestly don't care.
Period.
But I danced all the way through my pregnancy.
Period.
I danced up to 4 days. 4 days before I went into labor. And when I say dance, y'all might have to check it out. Y'all might have to check it out because I can't explain it. But I do dance hall. And so when I say dancing, like, I was in splits on the floor 4 days before I went into labor.
I need to take a tutorial next time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so I didn't stop. Like, and it's the best exercise. And I believe it helped my labor, like, you know, and it helped after. Yeah. And another thing that people may not agree with was the fact that I was dancing 6 weeks postpartum with my baby on my chest.
Who cares?
I was wearing my baby, and I get a lot of hate for that. But the baby's safe, guys.
If your baby is fed, loved on, changed, there's enough we got to think about.
Yeah.
Don't do too much to us. Don't say too much. I was one of those moms. Like, I've had even issues in my own family where people were just like, you know, we're just kind of, you know, my kid is thriving, eh? Mind you, my kid is thriving. He's good with all his teachers. He's like, his motor skills are top notch. The kid should be in the league. Give him 14 years. That's my retirement plan right there, right? But like, when people have these concerns, I'm just like, listen, until you like put yourself in my shoes. I do this like by myself. I pay for everything by myself. Like, sometimes, I'm actually do need a break, or sometimes we don't get around to all the things that people who have two partners do. I do this by myself.
But it's crazy.
So respectfully, just don't chat to me, please. Like, I don't have those issues.
It's crazy because everybody feels like they need to say something.
Yeah, stop
and
doing
then
that.
like, you gotta explain yourself. You gotta explain yourself to people. And I just want to create a safe space. Like, so many people reach out to me and they're just like, I love what you do. I love that you're dancing. I love that you dance with your kids. And my son, he's older now, so I actually wear him on my back when I dance, and he falls asleep. Like, you know what I mean? He loves it. And I want moms to know that you don't have to stop doing what you love, within reason. And then also, like, in regards to dreams, in regards to the things you want to do. And that goes for parents in general, because I remember having this conversation with my son's dad when I was pregnant, and he was doing acting and he wanted to get back into it, and he was like, you know, I got to put that on the back burner. I was like, no, you do not. Like, it might take a little longer, you know, but don't do that, because then you end up regretting, like, not regretting, but like being resentful. And you don't want to be resentful towards your kids. You don't want to be, oh, I wish I could have did this, but I had kids.
They have this saying that, like, eventually, even with your partner still actually technically comes first before your kids. That's kind of a weird concept that I wasn't like on.
Oh, it's very debatable. Like, debatable, everybody, right? Yeah.
But like, one day your kids, for my son, like, I pray he's gonna get married, and then, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta still be like in love or full in love, right? And sometimes your kids, or that's the goal. Your kids will actually leave, so you got to take care of you, your circumstance. And so, in speaking of just like motherhood, there's someone out there even watching postpartum that doesn't understand the body changes. Yeah, y'all don't see behind the camera. Sometimes when I'm sitting here, I'm just like, guys, my stomach look okay? Like, I'm like, yo, let me just, I'm in the gym, but there's like some real body changes, and some of my kids will come, my son will come and be like, mommy, you know, and I'm just like, listen, you did this to me, okay? You did this, did this to me. Like, I know some of my girlfriends who have gone through like just severe changes, and they're uncomfortable, like give them some kind of word of encouragement, because I've seen Shae. This is the first time I'm meeting Shae, but Shae on her Instagram page has before and after pictures. That takes a lot out of people. Because even as much as I'm on camera, I don't want people to see this midsection. You know what I mean? I want it to look like nice and tight, like I'm in the gym for a reason. I don't want it to look a little, you know what I mean? Like it takes a lot out of people. So like what gives you the confidence to like show people your before and after?
Yeah, so I had started it when everything was lock off, and started working out in my basement. And this is the first time in how many years? 12. I think it was like 12 at the time, that I actually focused on me, on my health, on my fitness. And I lost 60 pounds.
Wow.
I was, if you're watching, probably about your size at the end of it. And then I got pregnant. So I'm back to square one. But I have the formula and I know what to do. The mindset, we're working on it. But just a lot of people like, oh, well, I can't do that because it's genetics, or, you know, my body don't. And I thought for a long time, I was like, well, I just can't get that small again. I'm never going to get. And it's not about getting small, guys. Let me rephrase that. It's about being healthy.
Being healthy.
I felt so much better. Just body wise. I know that when I put on more weight, my body hurts more. I'm more tired. Versus when the weight starts coming off, I feel better in all aspects. But prioritizing yourself. So one of my goals, I shouldn't say like my goals for the year, but just one of my goals in general, on this new journey and everything like that, is that I really want to learn. They say show up for yourself. You got to show up for yourself. Okay. They talking about like, you know, new year, new me, blah, 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 blah. You know, I have to be consistent. Consistency is key. Discipline, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So how do I get there? You know, when it comes
someone watching this is asking.
Yeah. When it comes to whatever you do, I need you to think about this. Are you showing up for yourself? Okay. You give so much to others. People rely on you. Can you rely on yourself? That's what I want to work on. I want to show up for me on a daily basis. Like I show up for my friends, like I show up for my family, like I show up for my kids. What does that look like? It's going to look different for everybody, right? For me right now, what does that look like? That means taking time for myself. Oh, well, I can't take time for myself because I got 2 kids. I work a 9 to 5. My son does football. He does basketball. He does taekwondo. My baby, I have him in swimming class. You know, I'm driving here. I'm driving there. I'm making dinner. I'm doing bedtime. I'm doing bath time. I ain't got no time for myself. You always have time for yourself.
Period. Talk to things.
Always.
I resonate.
I was talking to my girl on the phone the other day, and she said, you know what? And she, you know, she's... Her first daughter is due February, and birthday's in February, and she's due in March. And she said, the other day, I woke up 15 minutes before my baby, and usually we wake up together. I woke up 15 minutes before my baby, and you know what I got to do? I got to wash my face. I got to brush my teeth. I got to make a little breakfast, and I felt great for the rest of the day. 15 minutes. She took 15 minutes.
There's that saying, like it's cliche, but when an airplane crashes, if you don't get that oxygen mask on yourself, you can't help anybody else. It's the same concept. Like everyone knows, my mornings are lock off. I'm at the gym. I'm training. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about business. I'll get my kid off to school. I'll make him breakfast. I'll come back home. If I make breakfast at the same time as him, cool. But if I don't, I'll make breakfast after I make him breakfast, after I drop him off. Then I'm at the gym. My manager knows, like my team knows, like after maybe like 12:30, 2 o'clock on some days, that's when you're going to find me. Yeah. I'm doing that for me. I need me. That's for my mental wealth, my mental wellness overall. And if I don't get that, I will get sluggish. Everyone else suffers. Yeah. If I don't get a good sleep as a mom, let me tell you, because no matter what, if I go to sleep at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever time. If I turn up, even sometimes, being realistic, someone else is watching this. You as a mom, I still turn up sometimes, right?
Yep.
I still got to get up and get my kid ready for school.
100%.
Right? I'm still up no matter what. And if I don't get a good sleep, my kid is getting the short end of the stick. Let me tell you, because Greta, get up. I'm not telling you again. We're getting out of your sleep. Go brush your teeth on your own. He's like, Mommy, I want you to do it yourself. I'm tired. You know what I mean? So I want to be the best version of me. So this is just very like realistic. Like as a parent, either mom or dad, like a lot of moms have full-time custody. A lot of dads have full-time custody. I don't want to shy away from the dads who do, because I do know dads who have full custody of the kids. And
for
do
sure.
way more.
Yep.
Or do a lot. You know what I mean? It's a realistic, like you said it earlier in the episode, and I kind of laughed. It's ghetto. It's ghetto here. It is ghetto. You know what I mean? Kids are annoying.
Love it. We love them.
We love them. They're annoying sometimes. They require, you gotta, change around your life. It's not the end of the world. And ultimately, like, you can still be the best version of you. And that's what gives me the most confidence. So people ask me, like, what's your favorite thing about myself? I'm like, I'm a mom and I'm still a boss. You know what I mean? It's not easy. There definitely comes with other challenges. I see other entrepreneurs and they have like all the time to do like all the creation. They can do all this and this. And I'm just like, mom. And I'm like, Brother, give me a break, please, right? But it can still get done.
Oh, for sure.
Right? And so I want someone that's watching this to just kind of be like, listen, as a mom, as a parent, it's not going to be easy.
No.
Prioritize yourself. If you don't prioritize yourself, it doesn't mean you're selfish. Make sure your kids are good.
And start little. Start little, because some people are like, okay, I gotta go to the gym 7 days a week, or I gotta wake up every morning at 5 a.m. And it's like, no, just start with 15 minutes and washing your face, and maybe do a little skincare routine while your kid's still sleeping. I
love that.
Just that.
Gradually, it builds. You don't always have to be like super intense about everything.
No,
you don't. The little things matter.
You set yourself up for failure that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little things.
The days that I make breakfast for me and my son at the same time is a win.
It's a win, right?
Because
a win is a win.
When I'm making him breakfast, I'm also making lunch. But if I can make breakfast and him my breakfast and lunch at the same time, that's a win. And some days, and when I do that, I'm like, I'm on top of the world. Nobody's talking to me. No one's chatting to me today. I'm going to have the best day. Right? So just center a line. And I'm so thankful that you came on here to share. You had your first son at 17. Look at you thriving. You got a 8. Well, how much years a gap is that?
13.
Because people ask me, Fina, when's the next baby? You minding the next picnic? You?
Right?
You know what I mean? Give me some time. I'm not in a rush. Whenever the time is, I feel like, for me and my story, it might be different for other people. They want to do it back to back. When the time is for me to have another kid, Zachariah is going to be well old enough to help me.
And I love it. I love it, right? Because
I love that for you.
You get time like I always say, like I got 13 years with my oldest.
Here.
And now that he's like doing his own thing, I'm going to have personal time with my youngest. So it's great.
Oh, I see some of the men in the crowd like, fair. All right. I appreciate you. You already know here on the Parker Conversation, real life, real experiences, real people. It's nothing that we can fake. This is just our experience. If it's something that resonates with you, keep tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This could be you. So I appreciate you. Thank you for taking your time out of your day. Because I know while Shay is here, somebody's watching her too, Pitney.
Yeah, man.
Somebody's watching, and somebody's watching my kid.
Texting me like, are you bringing back food?
Is he watching the little one?
Are you bringing back? Nah, he's not watching the little one. He don't change diapers, so he can't. I went to Walmart one time and he was like, he pooed and he keeps saying, Mom, come back.
Come back now. Yeah.
So
I appreciate the time we take out of your day. Here at the Parker Conversation, real, raw, real life. You can't fake it. Until next time, peace.
I don't know who needs to hear this thing.